Wix. One platform, any website.
Prime Big Deal Days is here. With deals on home and more, greatness is a deal away.
Most of my classmates, they were also working adults, so you feel like you're in a place.
the Asperger's Hebrew and Biblical, and we're going to talk about Lawrence Milton. I haven't decided if I'm going to go to the service or not, but I got everything together because if I go, I have to leave in the morning if I'm going, because I need to prepare. And I want to give a shout out to Tammy Young. So let's continue playing games then from Wizzy Wonderful, Whip It Good. Wizzy Wonderful, not Whip It Good. Let's do this. Let's freaking do this. I'm going to stop share screen this. Okay, let's get down to business. Okay. Hold on. Before I read the article, I'm going to read something. Tammy Young, I have to give her another shout out again. Shout out to her. She said, Karen Bardette, this is my goddaughter's father from Syracuse. May he rest in peace. And I'm going to get into it because I was looking up Lawrence Milton, Demantra, and there's nothing found on it. And they ain't say the cause of death because it sounds suspicious. Because I strongly believe in a spiritual sense that he was in good shape. He was in good health. You already know how the NBA is. So I believe they freaking got him at 53. I'm going to go and try again. I'm going to type in Lawrence Milton in Gematria because Simple Truth and Kinfolk did not talk about this. And also that cracker, Zachary Hubbard. And I forgot another brother, Kamani Coles. But Zachary, I had to be careful with this dude. Because this dude is an agent. He's not Simple Truth. He's not Kinfolk. And he's not Kamani Coles. And he definitely is not those other brothers and sisters that do Gematria. I don't know why they did not talk about this in Gematria, because in the numerology, he had to be 42, 59, 76. It always be happening to so-called black people, Rasta, blues, Negro, and slave. And he was found dead, that he was murdered. Because already decoded, because found dead is not what you think it is. You just cannot just die just like that. There is no way. There is no freaking way. They had to do some of the rituals and numerologies. That's why I'm not in the business. You know, I'm sorry to say this, but I will definitely look at it again after I read from this article. So I'm going to read this, all right? That's why I was going to do it first, because they're going to get in the way. But they not doing no live right now. Okay, HBCU lesbians, okay. Alrighty. Syracuse legend Lawrence Milton, father of the HBCU Gold Star, passes away at 53. Syracuse basketball legend Lawrence Milton lives in the track pole basketball legacy in New York and Washington, D.C. Because he lives outside Washington, D.C. And he used to live in New York. And this was, what was it, last week, September the 30th. September the 30th. Hold on. September the 30th is what day? It gotta be a Wednesday, wasn't it? Yes, it was a Tuesday. I was wrong. I almost had it right. Not September 30th. That's a Tuesday. A Tuesday. Yeah, that was a Tuesday. I gotta go back and look, because it was a Tuesday when I find this out on the Instagram news feed. Okay, because I am very freaking odd about this, because I thought about this too. Okay, this is a beautiful tall queen. Every time I see a tall queen like Lala, I be going crazy. Ooh wee. I tell you, and she's 6'2". Syracuse basketball legend Lawrence Milton was found dead at his home in Washington, D.C. Milton, 53, is the father of HBCU Go broadcaster Larissa Milton, with whom he shared a very close relationship. He was known to be a loving, positive person, and to me, he's just a loving, positive person. I think he was spiritual, because he was wearing the ark. That's what he was wearing. I can tell he was spiritual dude, and I think he knew what was going on. Larissa Lala told HBCU Legends that her instructors at sports began with her father. My dad played in the NBA. His daughter, Larissa, said he played for the Washington Wizards, Vancouver Grizzlies, and the Los Angeles Lakers. So he knew Kobe Bryant and Shaq, and I already know what's that about. His name is Lawrence Milton, the all-time leading scorer at Syracuse. That's Syracuse. So that's how I got my foot in the door playing basketball. Wow. Now I'm very concerned about Lala and Lolani. I'm kind of concerned about them. And the mom too. I'm definitely, it's concerning when I find this out. Syracuse legend Norman Smith dies at 53. He was a native of Washington, D.C., because I'm from Washington, D.C., guys. You've been, when I was filming and stuff at the go-go events and things in that nature, he was a native of Washington, D.C. when he played at the Archbishop Carroll High School in New Hampton Prep before joining the Orange basketball team in 1991. Yeah, he is 6'5". Lala is 6'2", so she got her dash genes. So the tall queen said, like this. Like, I was born to the league. Some of y'all trying to get in, repping my daddy. Gold Coast made me the custom jean jacket with my father's athletic, authentic NBA Vancouver Grizzlies jersey inside. Used to deficit, so you have a jacket for you too. Lawrence Milton, 6'5", 185 pounds. So I'm bigger than him because I'm like 200 something. I'm like 200. So my weight is bigger than his, but he is taller than me. Began his career in 1991. By the time he graduated from Syracuse in 1994, he was in the Orange all-time leading scorer. He completed his his NCAA career with 2,334 points, averaging 19.3 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 2.4 assists during his 4 seasons at Syracuse. His scoring powers earned him the distinction of being the Big East Conference all-time leading scorer with 1,405 points upon his graduation. The record stood tall at the conference for 25 years. Moten captured the hearts of Syracuse fans with his high socks and a nickname that matched the smoothness of his game, poetry in motion. Yeah, he was a poet named Lala. Because I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play Lala's video for the next hour. A dope clip of Lawrence Miller interview with his daughter Lala Miller, one of the greatest players in Syracuse basketball history. Recalled David Banks, Herb Washington, Derek Coleman, Kamal Anthony, among others. One is usually absent. That's why his animosity, his anonymity, anonymity along very, but Lawrence Milton holds the two distinct Lawrence men of the past. He is not the only leading scorer at Syracuse basketball history, but the leading scorer in Big East Conference history. Such results were not expectation when Martin arrived at Syracuse in 1991, known as much for his football than his basketball. He was out of high school. The Washington D.C. Native was no better than the fifth best in recruiting class, Rich Fisher, where he projects as Anthony Harris, Lucius Jackson, Glenn Cara, and United Stands. In his opening game, Milton scores 12 points and picked up 10 rebounds in refer action in Syracuse opening season went over Carter. It became one of the most valuable weapons in Big East play. Milton scored in a double figures in 31 of 32 games, 26 of 28 as a sophomore, and every single game over his junior and senior season, and he scored double figure games in 108 of 121 appearances for the Orange men. Okay, Milton's colleague achievements: 19.3 PPG, 4.9 RPG, and 2.4 APG during 4 seasons, 18.12 PPG as a freshman, 3-time first team All Big East, 2,334 career points, drafted by the Grizzlies in the 1995 NBA draft, second round, 36 pick. Syracuse University raised his number 21, excuse me, not number 21 in his draft of 2000. The Milton family is starting a GoFundMe to cover Lawrence Milton's burial costs. Yeah, I gotta be aware of that too. Because you gotta remember, people, GoFundMe and funerals are businesses. It ain't just the GoFundMe and funerals itself. It's a business. Funeral is a business that runs by the J's. Y'all have to understand it. The J's that you see are the title that was stolen from our ancestors. Because he did play the Grizzlies first. He was the 36th overall pick in 1995 NBA draft. He played for 2 seasons for the Vancouver Grizzlies in 1995 to 1997, and he ended his NBA career with the Boston Wizards 1997 to 1998. So he played for the NBA 1995, 1996. That's 1. 1997. That's 2. 1998. That's 3. So he played for the NBA for 3 years. Met to space teams in the CBA, ABA, and international squads in the fast fellas in Spain. So he was spending time with the CBA, ABA, that's International Basketball Organizations, and it's in Valencia in Spain. He was 21. Poetry, all girls every 21, Thunder 21 party more than thanks for making this cool video. Okay, so he joined the ABA Mellons Nighthawks as a vice president player development. Later, he became the head coach of the Rochester Razor Sox, guiding them to the PBL championship title in 2014. The following year, he accepted a position as an assistant at Gallatin University. That was his current job. School specializing in American Sign Language. It threw me off guard because I'm not ASL ready, Moten said in an interview. Moten began working at Clarity Middle School in 2018. So he was working at Clarity Middle School in 2019. I was reading too fast. Water reported that in June he returned to his hometown, which is D.C., to serve as a general manager for the Valley's boys and girls basketball team in the Digital Pioneers Academy. Dang, I got that. I was reading too freaking fast. He was survived by his wife, Norlena, and their two daughters, Norisa, dang, I can't even get it right, and Leonie. The cause of his death has not been determined. And this is suspicious. This is very suspicious to me. The cause of death. That's what I was talking about. His death is freaking suspicious. And I already know that I know Lala and Lauren don't have nothing to do with it. Same thing with his not no Lena. But the NBA, yeah, they do this. They freaking do this every time. Like look what happened to it's another basketball player that is from my area go by the name Virus. And the NBA and those mainstream media that was pushing the drug agenda. And Len Virus was supposed to be in the NBA because he was drafted and the team they drafted him was the Boston Celtics. Len Virus is from Landover. I used to live in Landover. And they drafted him and they got him just like that. And this was when he was at the University of Maryland, when he played for the Maryland Terrapins. HBU All-Stars LLL 4th Annual ATL has something to say about the HBLC All-Stars from the ACL before your mom 13 and following the Davy NCAA Gambling Scheme. Mario's debut with Bomb B. I got my crashes about Bomb B, kind of like Havoc. Jeffrey Slide in a full lineup of culture-driven bloggers. All HBCU money games worth the risk. The hard cause of payout football. So Kyle T. Moses, he's the founder, manager, and chief for the HBCU Legend St. News Network Politics, who's a great fan nation, a sports illustrated team channel since October. They freaking I strongly believe they kill him. They freaking kill Lawrence. I believe that they did. And I already know with the exchange, the remain in the business or get rewards, so they can be in a public trade company. I already know this. Him, Lawrence the Third, and Lynn Barnes are not the only one. It's a lower basketball player, and he's not from my area where Lawrence and Lynn are. I believe they freaking got him. The NBA has something to do with it. And tell me Savage is involved. That's why I'm kind of concerned about Lala and Lalina and his wife. No, I think no Nina. I'm kind of concerned about them because I don't want anything to happen to them. And I'm speaking for my race only. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh wow! If I go, I'm not gonna say anything. I gotta play it all because I don't want to be labeled as a conspiracy theorist. I want to keep this quiet if I go. Mm-mm-mm. Because he did play for the Washington Wizards, the Vancouver Grizzlies, the Los Angeles Lakers, and he was an all-leading scorer at Syracuse. And he did got his foot in the door playing basketball. And he is a native of Washington, D.C. He did attend 8 Bishop Carroll High School in New Hampton before joining Orange basketball team in 1991. And he is 6'5" and 185. And he did graduate Syracuse in 1994. And he earned like 2,034 points in his NCAA career. And he did average 19.3 points and 4.9 rebounds and 2.4 assists during all his 4 seasons at Syracuse. That's really impressive. They scored with 1,405 points upon his graduation, and his record stood tall in conference for 25 years. And he did capture the Hustle Syracuse Feds. Yeah, he did do that. So we're gonna play the video for the next hour. I definitely would do that. Man, definitely play that for the next hour. Or maybe I will play it 12 minutes. But the first things first, I gotta type into mantra. Hold on. Because they did not talk about this. Dang. Nothing's found. Mm-mm-mm. Let me type in effect. Mm-mm-mm. And it's mm-mm-mm. Oh my freaking goodness. Oh my gosh. Nothing's found. Mm-mm-mm. I can't believe because they know this. Because he did hold the big scoring record for 25 years. Wow, I had to wait for like maybe a week or more than a week later, or more, or a month later, or more than a month later. Because he did average 18.2 points per game in 1991 and 1992. And they said Lawrence went to Syracuse University all-time leading scorer in ex-NBA and a great storyteller because Lawrence Milton is a lot of things. Uh-huh. Yes, he is a whole lot of things. Mm-mm-mm. That's John Wallace. He's also tall. And I was thinking, and I also was thinking about this too. Did he ever like sit on the bench a lot? Because I thought about this, and I think I had talked to my friends about this. Like, wow. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, freaking wow, man. Hold on. Because he was a great athlete. A lot of people are going. Yeah, I think I'm noticing this too. It's going to be a lot of people. He's not no jobber, no low level. He passed that, but he wasn't up to the main event level. Mm-mm-mm. Oh freaking wow! Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me play because I got a notification from Lucas. I'm gonna start share screen this, and we gonna get into the video by a beautiful tall queen Lala. It's gonna be the outro. If the outro, if. I'm back. Yeah, I was just reading the text message from from Erica, my elder sister. Oh, elder relative, because that's already out there. So I'm gonna play the video because Lala, she got a giraffe wagon, yo. Ooh wee. I may meet her if. Wow. And Lilani, whoa. They tall, beautiful queens. I don't know how tall the mother is. The mother's probably be about Lilani's height, because me and Lilani are about the same height. I'll be right back. Hold on. Let me put the video and begin.
Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and even hit that notification bell so that you get alerted every time I drop a new episode.
Everybody wanna come to La La Land. Everybody wanna come to La La Land.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Ballin'. I'm your host, Laurencia Moten, and today's episode is extremely special. It honestly might be my favorite episode to date. I get the amazing chance to talk to Syracuse University's all-time leading scorer, former Washington Wizard and Vancouver Grizzlies NBA player, philanthropist and youth advocate, and most importantly, my dad, Lawrence Moten. Dad, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Absolutely, Lala. Glad to be here and looking forward to this interview. Not only are you happy, I'm happy too. This is a special day to me.
So, first things first, for you, everyone knows you as Syracuse's all-time leading scorer. What does that legacy mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot for the simple fact that it shows that my 4 years of hard work and dedication paid off. When I first got to Syracuse, a lot of people didn't think that even myself didn't think at the time I would be the leading scorer of such prestigious university. But I was able to work hard, and like I used to tell you and your sister, so almost every day is an audition, and the work that you put in will be the work that gets in return. So I did 4 years there, averaged 20 for 4, had some great times, won a lot of games, and the rest is history.
I think that's a great point that you mentioned because one of my questions was going to ask you, did you realize coming to Syracuse the impact that you were going to have on the university as a whole?
Of course, being a 17-year-old kid, you don't think of the impact that you're going to have. But I remember coming up there, and it was already easy for me because my high school teammate, Marvin Graves, was already at the university, and he was the star quarterback. So at the
Okay, I'm
time,
back.
when I got there, and he used to tell me, if you do what you have to do, these people will roll out the red carpet for
Wow.
you. And I ended up having 4 great years there,
Yeah, he ended up
breaking
for
records,
4
winning
great
games,
years.
and Syracuse is considered my second
Yes,
home.
indeed.
Definitely. So, being from this area, right, the DMV, there's numerous players that played in the NBA. You're one of
Wow,
them.
she got some nice teeth.
130 to be exact,
You see,
out
he was
of
in good
only
shape,
like
y'all. I
1,500
did say
players, I think, that
this.
ever gotten drafted since the start of the
15,000
National
players ever got
Basketball
drafted since the
Association.
start of
Why do you
National
feel
Basketball
like people
Association.
from this area are so
That's what Lala
successful
is saying, the
when it
tall
comes to
queen.
basketball?
Well, first of all, the whole DMV as a whole, is a sports city that we're from
Yeah,
and
DMV
community.
is a
So
sports city.
we have a lot of great athletes here
And
in
he
all
says there's a
levels of
lot of
sport,
great
not just
athletes, yeah.
basketball, football, baseball. So, we're
Not only
people who are
baseball,
hungry, who
not
love
only
the game,
basketball, football, and
and who
baseball.
play with passion. And that's what I was taught as
Yeah,
a
he
young
said play
age,
with passing,
playing with
yes.
older guys, understanding what it took
Young age playing
to
with
be
order,
successful.
and it took.
But at the end of the day, it all
You
starts
gotta
with
have
your
the
hard work and your
skill.
dedication. I can remember being in the sixth
Mm-hmm.
grade and telling
Sixth grade.
myself that I was either going to play in the
You see,
NBA
he
or the
don't have any
NFL.
wrinkles.
So my
See,
point is,
black
I
don't
saw
crack.
it back then, because I was always taught if you want to be something,
You
you have
know,
to see it and you
no
got to feel
wrinkles
it.
on his
And
face.
I was able to do that thankful to my parents, my mother, my father,
Yeah.
and all the
Oh yeah,
surrounding
he was
people
named
that
after his
I grew up
father,
around, who instilled in
Lawrence
me
Jr.,
that
because he's the
hard work
third.
pays
The
off, and
first is
if
by
you
his
do what you have to do
grandfather.
and do it the right way, successful things will come.
Definitely. That's something that you've always told Leilani and I, right? You have to see it, right? Even when we're doing basketball drills, you have to envision yourself in those situations and
Basketball
see how it
drills.
works.
Yeah,
Today's lingo,
you
that
got
would be
that right.
manifestation, right? You are manifesting. How did you know that that was going to be a tool for success? Who taught you that?
Well, I would consider this self motivation and teaching
Self
yourself.
motivation. Self
I was
motivation is
one
the
to
key. The
always,
key within.
go
You got
outside
to
the
build
box.
confidence.
If
That's
I
what
was
the
playing with
brother
a team,
Lawrence the
of
Third
course you have a team
is having
practice,
a
but you also have
conversation
to practice
with
individually.
his
So
daughter
I would do
Lala,
things on my
the tall
own,
queen.
and imagine myself playing a game within a game with my mind. Because if you can always understand, even any sport that you play,
Any
a
sport that you play,
percentage of the game is mental.
apprentice is
And I
percentage of the
was able to
game.
learn that at a
Correct.
young
Correct.
age.
Go.
I used to envision myself doing great things. I had two beds in my room when I was growing up. And
Well,
one of the
two
things
beds.
my mother
It's
would
kind of
wash
like
my
when I was
uniform.
younger.
I would put
When I was
the
living in Stratford
uniform,
Woods,
whether it be football or basketball, on the
me, my
bed so I
sister,
wouldn't
my
sleep on it,
eldest sister,
and
used
actually
to sleep
get
in
in the other
bunk
bed and
beds.
close my eyes and see myself doing great things. So,
Yeah, we
and
had bunk beds when I
eventually
was living
most
in
of those
Stratford
things came
Woods.
true, like deja vu. So, it's all about
There's
seeing it
more.
and
We did
understanding
sleep
at the
on
end of
beds
the
before it
day,
was a bunk bed.
what you put in is what you're going to get out of it.
Who inspired you the most, right? Because I think one thing that's hard for some kids nowadays is being able to put themselves in those shoes, right? When they've never
Those
experienced
shoes,
knocking
like them
down a game winning shot.
Jordans.
How do you envision that when you don't have anything to draw from?
Well, like I said, I had former players that I looked up to that instilled that in me, and I felt like I was a good student of the game.
Yeah, he was a good student.
Even when games
Yes,
were being
indeed.
played on TV, CBS, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, Michael
Yeah,
Jordan, all those
I
guys,
already know about
I used to
Magic
actually
Johnson.
have a
And
sheet of
Michael
paper,
Jordan used to
and I
F
would put
those
points,
guys
rebounds,
up
and
because he
assists.
tapped into his
So,
God
and my
key.
favorite
As
player,
Rasheed
one of
Jamal.
my favorite players, I would do it to. So basically, while the game is going on, I got my pen and my pad, and I'm watching the
Yeah,
game,
he got his
observing the
pen and his
game,
pad
but I'm also keeping
while
stats of
he
my
was taking
favorite player,
notes
knowing what
on the game.
he did
Yeah,
well. So,
and
the
how
reporters could never
the
tell me
game goes,
how
how
my
it
favorite
plays,
player
even though
had because I already knew.
it's rigged and
What's
this
the
and that,
best
because I
thing?
heard
So,
about it.
just little things like that I always did, and I guess I call it being a good student of the game.
Good
Definitely. I
student
think
at that.
that is just something that separates those people who are outstanding from just the people who are like just good, right? The extra you were able
Absolutely.
to put in. Now,
I
a
Absolutely.
lot of
already.
people don't know that. Well, a lot of people outside the DMV, because I think everyone from DC, Maryland, Virginia knows that you were an outstanding football player as well.
Oh yeah,
The
I
only
think I heard
player
something
in the
about that. If I
metropolitan
can
area to be
remember,
all met in
he
both
did play
football and
football.
basketball, both junior and senior years. I
Well,
did a lot of
junior
research
year and
last
senior
night, and
years.
I read a Washington Post article from 1990 that said you had 13 interceptions, 55
13
passes for 10
interceptions.
touchdowns, and returned two
Whoa,
punts for scores. Okay, and you were a 6'4" safety, so a unicorn.
6'4"
So
safety.
you
Wow.
were going to the NFL if you weren't going to the NBA. We're just gonna say that.
Oh no, you don't have to just imagine that. That would have happened. There's no question about it. I always tell myself it was either the
So
NBA
he
or the
played
NFL,
football before
and
basketball.
I was just passionate about the game. You got me reminiscing of days when it's raining and snowing outside, and I used to be out there just playing by
So
myself.
he was playing
Like I
by
said, a
himself
game
while
within
it
a
was raining and
game,
snowing.
and people yelling off the balcony, "What are you doing? You look crazy!" And I used to point up there at them and say, "Well, I'm going to the NBA or the NFL." And I was blessed to make the NBA, but it's no doubt in my
Wow.
mind
He
that I would have played in
was
the
blessed. So
NFL.
he
I love the
played
game.
football and basketball
My
at the
high
same
school,
time
my
at
senior year was
college.
phenomenal. It was 13 touchdowns and 13
13
interceptions.
touchdowns and
So I'll
13
give that to
interceptions. I
that.
gotta remember. I gotta be prepared of this
Defensive
if
player
I'm
of the
going.
year, I take a homage to that, and
Yeah,
that
he
senior
took an
year,
homage to
I
that.
was able to go to Carlisle with the Washington
Wow.
Redskins, aka Commanders
It used to
now,
be the
who
Washington Redskins, but
that's the
now
name
it's
of
the
the team
Washington
now. I
Commanders.
was able to go to their practice facility, and I'll never forget it. Once I walked in to accept the award as Defensive Player of the Year,
So he was
Joe
defensive
Gibbs, the
player of the
great Joe
year.
Gibbs. I'm a diehard Redskin commander. The great Joe Gibbs. Said, Lawrence, I'll see you in 3 years. And I'll never forget that.
Wow. How did that touch your spirit?
Oh, it touched me a lot because we talking about a Super Bowl champion coach, 3 Super
Oh
Bowl
yeah, I'm
champion
not into
rings,
football
who've
like
seen a
that.
lot of talent.
Why do
And I'm
I
coming out of high school, and just
do
for him to know
reaction
who I was and
and
just
want to know
see some of the
basketball
things that I
players like
did,
Lawrence
I
the
guess he
third and
saw
Lynn Byers?
potential.
Because I
So
care.
I
I need to
commend for that, but it
acknowledge every
also,
so-called
I
black
thank
race
myself for my hard
that's
work and
not a Manny
dedication.
Finner.
For you,
Wow.
why did you choose basketball? Because I'm sure everyone out there is wondering
Why did
now.
he choose
You were so good at
basketball?
football,
That's a question,
so good at
tall queen.
basketball. What made you choose this lane?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a tough decision for me
Well,
mentally
so
because,
it was a tough decision
when
for him.
basketball season was here, I'm here. It's like a seesaw. In football season, I was like, I couldn't make up
Basketball
my
here,
mind. But going to
football here,
Syracuse on a basketball scholarship,
Syracuse. Yeah, he did
I
not only
went there,
basketball
and like I said,
Syracuse.
one of the reasons why I came to
It's also
Syracuse, my high school teammate
football.
Marvin
I
Graves
keep
was the
mispronouncing
quarterback with
Syracuse.
Archbishop Carroll at the time,
I
and
keep
he
saying
did what he did.
Syracuse.
So once I decided to come up there, it was like I would go to the practices, and I was thinking about doing both. I truly was, but
Yeah, he was thinking about
academically
both.
and staying acclimated to both sports was
Yep,
something
acclimated to both
rare.
sports. That's what he did.
A few people tried it, and it was very hard to do. Playing
Yeah,
both
very
sports
hard to
on
do to
true
both
high
play
levels.
sports
And like
in
I
a high
remember telling
level.
Coach Boeheim that
I'm
the coach of
still
Syracuse, Coach
practicing.
Boeheim, I remember telling him, Coach, I can do this. And he looked at me and
Yeah,
said,
he
well,
told
Lawrence,
Coach, I can
you
do
came
this. You
here,
have to
you have a
believe in
scholarship
me.
to play
We
basketball.
got the God
If anything, I
key.
can tell you there's less injury and more money in basketball. So as a 17-year-old, it made a lot of sense. And then I
Mm-hmm.
would see
Made a
my
lot of
teammates,
sense.
Marvin Graves and Al Wooten,
Marvin
and he was the only
Graves.
guy who roomed with football players. So I would see
Marvin
them.
Gaye's a
We would
football
go to
player. I gotta
practice at
remember
8:30 in the
that.
morning. I would go to practice. Practice would be 3 to 5. I'm home
3 to
about 6
5
o'clock.
practice. So he'd be
These
home at
guys
6
wouldn't get
o'clock.
home until 10 o'clock at night, every night. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're like, well, we got film session, we got
Film
individuals.
section,
And Marvin, he
individuals.
was the star quarterback. So he used to have a
Marvin,
binder
the
of
star
all the
quarterback. I definitely
plays.
gotta look up this guy.
So then
And I
that's when
had
I
to
truly
remember.
realized that I just wanted to play football. I don't want to do all of that stuff. So I decided to make the right move, and it was basketball.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like was the most pivotal moment for you that
And
maybe
yes, I'm gonna
changed the
play the whole
trajectory of your
video.
Syracuse career?
Yes, that's a great question, and it was my freshman year. I didn't start the first 2 games of the season, but
First 2 games of the
Adrian he
season.
came down and he sprained his ankle. That was my teammate
While
who played
Adrian
here at
sprained
Texas
his ankle.
Syracuse University. He sprained his ankle, and Coach Boeheim would put who's the starters each game we would play. He would put who's starting. He would write that
Well,
on
he
the list
started getting right down the list.
before we
Wow.
even get to the locker room. So as I walk in, we were playing in Atlanta at the
Mm-mm-mm.
Omni, and it was called the ACC Big East Challenge. So we played Florida State, and they had great
AC,
players:
you
Sam
got play for
Cassell,
Florida State.
Rodney Dobob,
Shane
Bob
Cassell
Sir.
on
I end up being my teammate at Vancouver, Doug Edwards. They had a very
Doug
good team.
Edwards. Wow.
And I remember walking
They
in the
play
locker room
football at
and
Syracuse,
seeing
if
my
I'm not
name on the
mistaken.
list as the starter. And I was so happy and just with emotion that I left the locker room. And this times, you girls don't know about payphones. A lot of people
Now
don't know about
payphones.
payphones.
Oh,
So
okay.
we didn't have
Payphones.
access to
Okay.
phones at the time. So I left the locker room and I went under the tunnel and I saw a payphone. And I remember dialing that number, dialing 0, collect call to my mother, may she rest in peace. And I was like, Mom, I'm a
Wow. I
starter.
didn't know his.
And I remember her screaming
Yeah,
so
she's
loud,
with the
oh, baby, I'm so
ancestors.
happy for you. I'm so happy. I got one thing to tell you. I'm like, what? Give it to me, Mom. Give it to me. She said, don't give it back. And I was blessed to have 4 great years at Syracuse. I ended up having 24 points that game, my
Oh,
first
24
200 game
points.
of my
Whoa.
career. And the rest is history, but I never gave it back.
You never did. And out of 121 games that you played at Syracuse,
So he
you were
played
double figures
121
at
games at
118.
Syracuse.
Yes.
So the
Or-
first two you didn't
I
start
think I
super
did read an
consistently. A moment where you
article
might have been sick,
a
but
couple minutes
every other
ago.
game you scored at least 20 points, and that's unheard of.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is, Lala, is I remember the 3 games that I had 9 points each time.
Right
He
there.
has
And the
9
three
points in
games that I
each
didn't score double figures,
games that he
I had
played,
nine
and that were
points,
like
and I
3
remember that. So,
games.
yeah, I was hard on myself, but hard in a good way. Because I tell people all the time, when you in whatever you do in life, if you truly feel like you're working hard at it and giving it your all,
You're all
nobody can
giving your
tell you
heart.
you're
He
not
do
working.
has a point.
And how do you gauge that? As somebody who a lot of people would say was perfect, right? Like, I know that oftentimes people will tell me and explain how your game
Man,
was because I
that
need to get to
Lala,
know.
bro.
And they'll say like it was just so easy for him.
It's
He
gonna
had
be
like the
some
poetic style, the
tall
smooth
women at the
crossover, the high
service.
socks. It seemed like it was just so easy for him.
Mm-mm-mm.
How do you, explain to those people that it wasn't easy? It came from tons of hard work that we're learning to
Wow,
do right
tons of
now,
hard work.
and that you
Whoa.
were just blessed to have a gift. You
Yes.
know,
Yep, the gift of anticipation, the gift of
Well,
seeing
the gift
things
of
happen before
invitation,
they
you got
happen.
that right, bro.
And I was big on that, and
Dang,
I credit
I
that
ain't
to
have
me
an
playing football
opportunity to meet
also,
him in person.
which helped me understand contact. I wasn't worried about hitting somebody's body because I was tackling people. So, and I played safety, so I knew how to read and
Yeah,
react.
he did play
I knew if a
safety.
big man got the ball at the top of the key, his first instinct would be catch and pass. So I would
Cash and
always
pass.
read. That was
Yeah,
my
cash and
skill. So,
pass.
just like little things like that, always being a student of the game and
Yeah,
anticipating
student of
and
the game,
knowing
anticipating, knowing.
situations helped me, but it also ended up being a flaw to an extent later in my career. While playing in the
Rather,
NBA, I remember
playing my
I
career.
wasn't playing as much as I wanted to, and I felt like I should have. And I remember talking to my agent and having him,
And he had an
ask the
agent.
coaches, "What's the
Mm,
problem?
mm.
Like, why am I not playing as much as I should?" And he would always say,
That's
"Well,
what
they
they
saying they look
said.
like they say in practice and in the games, it looks like you're not
Practice in the
working
games,
hard.
yeah,
You're
uh-huh.
not giving your all." My
Give it
thing was like, well, I'm getting
y'all.
20 to 25 points. So what more do you want? So
productivity was there.
so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it could be a flaw of some people saying that you're not working hard enough.
Yeah. Well, I think you were just before your time because now when I look at the NBA, it's all finesse. It's all skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the goal of these players, from my eyes, from a fan's standpoint, is to make things look as easy as possible.
Yeah.
They don't even want to see, they don't want you to see them sweat,
Yeah.
you know? So
Freedom sweat.
I think that's just a credit to you, like you said, like anticipations, being so forward thinking. And what's for you can't be for you. But do you agree with that? Do you feel like you were before your time a little bit?
Oh well, I'm definitely, I can say I was before
Like
my
you would have
time
fit
with it.
in
With
the
the
NBA right now. Your playing
Absolutely,
style completely.
absolutely, no doubt in my mind, it would have been easier because it was a little bit harder when I was coming up because they had two
Wow.
centers.
Yes.
Now
Hard
today
coming
there's
up.
only
Wow.
two low post big men. I mean, you have great players. They're great players now. Don't get me wrong, but no Shaquille O'Neal's, no Akeem Olajuwons, Patrick Ewing's, where guys were stuck on that block.
Patrick
And then I'm not even
on
talking
that
about the
block.
power forwards, Karl Malone,
Whoa.
Dennis Rodman, just big bodies that you will have to actually have contact with from their teammates running you off screen. So I tell people
Pointing on the
basketball is
screen.
now
Wow.
outside in, meaning the 3-point line in, instead of when I was
3 point
coming up
instead
inside
coming
out.
up
The big man
inside.
had to touch the ball
Big man
first
to touch
before
the
you.
ball first. But you can make the move. That's what he's talking.
Or
He's
if the
saying.
big throw it back
The
to
big
you,
throw.
now it's on you.
Big
But
collar.
the choice back then was
Shot collar,
feed the big man. Now it's more
because he is a
mid-range
big
shots.
dude.
Threes
Everybody's
spread
jumping
out.
threes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
more
like
spread it out type
all
of
the
game.
other big dudes like him, my
It's
race,
cool.
my
It's just
kind.
it's called a different time. It is what it is. But
It is what
I
it is,
definitely think
okay?
it was more aggressive and physical when I was playing.
Aggressive and
I think everyone
physical.
would attest to that. That's the ongoing debate, within this generation? Like, who would it be
Oh
harder? Is
yeah,
LeBron better than Michael?
and there are a
That
lot of
whole
great players. But
conversation.
one of the things I want to say,
Michael
LeBron
Jordan and
James
LeBron James. I already know about
debate.
LeBron
Can you please
James.
stop it? And my
Even
point is this:
Copy Point
it
Dexter
should be
had talk
Michael
about
Jordan,
this.
Kobe,
Kobe
LeBron,
Bryant,
Magic. See,
the Black
two
Mamba.
different styles. Magic
Because Kobe
fits,
Bryant had
LeBron
different
fits more
styles.
Magic style.
And
But
Kobe
of course,
Bryant
Kobe will tell you he did
had
everything that
made
his
endorsement
wife
deals
May
that the
Kobe, rest in
NBA
peace.
did
So
not like.
it's
I
more
heard about
Kobe,
that.
Mike, LeBron,
And I
Magic.
believe that Kobe is
Why do you
alive.
think
I
people
strongly
want to?
believe
I mean,
that.
true basketball players, I think, can understand
It's
what you're
what I
saying,
heard.
right? With like just the size alone, right? Magic was what, six
The,
nine
the
point
size
guard.
alone and
Magic
the
six
killer
time.
instinct and the tenacity that Mike played, Kobe had that same thing.
Yeah, because
Now
Michael and
Magic
Kobe,
was more
the
finesse, could do
realists.
it all. 6'9" point guard. LeBron
And because it
6'9",
was the old
finesse,
Michael Jordan.
physical at a time, but
And I
a lot
already
of
know
people don't
LeBron
understand
James is 6'9" like
he
my
didn't have a post
Magic
game in his
Johnson.
early part of his career. But until he started to learn that, I think that's when his game changed. So more similar to Magic to me, but
Well,
the
similar
Mike and
Magic, I see.
LeBron talk should never be talked about. It's always Mike, Kobe.
I agree. So you mentioned the draft. You were part of you are part of the 1995 NBA draft class. Joe Smith, Kevin Garnett, some big names
Joe
along with
Smith,
yourself.
Kevin
How was the
Garnett.
overall draft experience for you?
Oh, it was a beautiful feeling,
He played for the
because
Timberwolves, right?
I felt like at that time I fulfilled my dream to
And yeah,
always,
he did
like I
fulfill
say,
his
telling
dream.
that lady from
Kind of like
behind
Martin
that
Luther
was
King
ready to
Jr.
be
I
in
had a
the
dream.
NFL, it was no doubt in my mind. And I put in the hard work and the dedication. And I had 4 great years at Syracuse that went very well. And, it was a beautiful feeling.
Wow, a
You got me
beautiful feeling
reminiscing.
at
I
its
remember like it was
finest.
yesterday. My mother was there. I had about 50 of my friends, and we were all at grandma's house. And they
Grandma's house.
also flew cameras from
Or
Syracuse
flew from
into
Syracuse.
DC. So they were all at grandma's house. So when the
Wow,
name
at
was
grandma's
called,
house.
everybody
Okay.
was screaming and hollering, and it was called by the Vancouver Grizzlies. And I just remember it was just so loud. And everybody was so happy, and I was happy. And the first thing I did, I got up and I ran upstairs to the bathroom. And the first thing I did, I got on my knees and I thank God for this opportunity of
About the
fulfilling my
opportunity.
dream.
Okay.
And then you know what I said, Lala? Where the hell is Vancouver? So because it was a franchise, it was the it was the first. I was I was the second pick in franchise in Vancouver's history, and ended up loving Vancouver. I call it the hidden city,
Then he
beautiful
was
place,
loving
beautiful
Vancouver.
people, good food.
Innocent, beautiful
So it
people
worked
with
out,
good
but
food
that was
and
definitely
etc.
a weird moment
Yeah.
of trying to figure out where Vancouver was.
Yeah. And now they're in
Mm.
Memphis. So the Grizzlies are now in
Yes, they're
Memphis,
now in
which is a
Memphis.
different
Yeah,
fit for you.
Memphis
I mean,
Exactly.
that's
Grizzlies,
so
not just the
amazing
Grizzlies.
because,
Memphis Grizzlies,
not everyone gets to have that opportunity.
Vancouver.
I think a lot of times, especially like talking like my friends now, we all have dreams, but reality, not everyone's going to be able to live them. So what advice would you
That's
give to
true and
someone
all.
who, maybe
And I
feels like they
probably look
haven't
deep
reached their
into it
dream?
on another
Yeah.
video.
Well, only advice I can give is, if you truly are passionate and love what you do and is trying to take it to that next level, understand that. And now we're just talking about basketball.
Yeah.
You know, in the basketball setting, and this goes to the youth, and I truly want you to understand what I'm saying. If you truly, truly love the game and are passionate about the game, you
As in
have to
about the
be
game, truly, truly love.
hungry and not
You
just want
gotta
to
be
eat.
hungry
A
for
lot
it.
of people
You need to
just want to eat and not
do
hungry.
your
They don't
best
want to put in
at
the
it
work. They don't want to put in the time.
under
So, when
different
people just want to eat, yeah, they
circumstances
got food in the
with your
cupboard.
talent.
But that hungry person is going to go out there and work hard every day to be the best
Yeah,
that they
that
can
hungry
be.
person will work hard every
And
day. I
so
will
you
remember
truly,
those
truly
words.
have to put in the work and it's very
You gotta put
intricate
in the
with
work with
yourself.
your
Understand that if I
talent.
give my
He
all
got
and
that
really push
right.
myself, I can be the best I can be.
The
And I
best
think
I
that's
can be.
why
Yes, I
my
hear that
mother,
a
man, she
million
rest in peace, and it's
times.
just in the business world and whatever you do. She always used to tell me, "You are your own private contractor in whatever
Private
corporation you in.
contractor. Hmm.
So the work that you put in is going to be this type of style or the type of person that you are, but you got to put in the work."
Hmm.
Obviously,
Yes,
basketball
indeed.
teaches life lessons, right?
Yeah,
What would you
basketball teaches
say
life
is
lessons.
the
Yeah,
biggest
and I'm starting to
transferable
believe
skill
about
that you have been
sports.
able to transfer to life
In
after?
my spiritual mind, I believe sports has been invented
Getting
by
my
so-called
degree in
black people.
childhood education has helped
I'm
that in
starting to believe
understanding
that,
that,
just like martial
of course,
arts.
you play sports and people make a lot of money and do
A
great
lot of
things, but
money,
at the
yeah.
end of the day, the ball has to stop,
Mhm.
and you have to have something to fall back on. And I truly think
Fall
that's one
back
of the
on. You got
blessings
that
too
right.
is that um, I was able to deal with understanding when your career is over and you have to move on into the next phase of whatever
Move on to the
God
next
decides to
phase.
put
Yes.
you into doing in your life.
Uh huh.
So uh
You got
It
that
didn't come from
right.
like a lack. You didn't feel like you were lacking. You felt like you were
no,
transitioning. You felt
just it's a transition that you have to deal with.
yeah.
And the reality is, you got some people that really can't. A
Yeah.
lot of people can. That's in anything. You got a million people that are millionaires who are miserable.
Hmm.
Then you got people who are poor who are happy as can be.
Yeah.
So it's just about, who you are as a person and how you
Know who
feel
you
and
are as a
the
person, how
work you
you
put
feel.
in and the
Something the
dedication
other
you put
side
in and
don't
also
care
what you
about, but
was
they act
taught.
like they care.
My grandmother, may she rest in peace, and my mother, may she rest in peace. They instilled in me that um, at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with money. It's about how
See?
you treat people and
See,
your
Lawrence has a
character
point.
and having
It don't have
respect
nothing to
and
do with
having
money.
people
It can't
respect
be
you.
money all the time,
So, so,
people.
so, if anything, I can say that's what it's about.
I'm
You treat
telling you,
people out of
money can put
respect
you in
for people
spells.
and expecting it in
Money are
return.
freaking rituals.
Right now, I'm the youth development leader for the district in
Youth
Syracuse, dealing
development
with kids
leader,
middle school to high
Syracuse.
school. I love what I do,
Kids, middle
and
school
I
and
get to
high
see the
school.
different cultures in the schools and
Well, different
everything. But
cultures. That was
I'm
our
passionate about it.
cultures.
I tell people the same way I was an All American in sports.
Yep, all
I want that
American.
same
We
way in the
so-called
working
black
field.
people built
I'm
America.
starting the working field also.
I think that's amazing. And that's something you always told me, like playing. You were like, Lala, you are more than just a basketball. You have other things as well.
Right.
And I think that's super important and why I am so passionate about this podcast, Beyond
Yeah,
Ballin',
she's
is
very
because a lot
positive
of
about
people
this
don't
podcast.
have
Yes,
somebody in their life
Yes.
that's telling them that they have value
I
beyond just
believe,
sports,
Yes.
and I hate
especially
to
in this
say this, I
area where we
believe
have so
Lala
many
didn't sell her soul,
people
which is a
that,
good thing.
I mean, we eat, sleep, breathe sports out here.
Right.
We
I
are so
mean, I
good
don't want my tall
where
queens to
even with
sell
me,
their
when I got
souls.
injured,
And
I felt
same
like
thing
a
with
piece of my
my
identity
men
was
in my
kind of like
race.
lost,
But it
because it's
always be
like
freaking
people say,
half the
what do you
so-called
do?
black
I play
people.
basketball.
Right.
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 So when you
Because she did
can't do
not blow
that,
up over
when you're
time.
injured or when it's time to move on, if you didn't
Hmm.
already feel like you have value on this world, it could be a completely, different scenario. And a lot of people have mental health issues because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What
the
advice
mental
would you
health
give those
issues.
people to
Well,
stay
And
uplifted?
I did
well, that
discuss
comes
about
with,
that
at
a
the end
few
of the day,
weeks ago when
too,
I was at
it comes with
Spalding's.
having a strong family
Yeah.
and the background that
Strong
you raised
family.
to
We
have.
so-called black people need to start
Of
doing that.
course,
I
that's
need to do that
important, but it's
myself.
also important for you as an individual to be mentally strong. And you got me reminiscing.
Yeah,
And I can remember the
recognition.
days,
Yeah,
when me and
recognition.
my sister would go to
Reminisce.
school, get up in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, and
5:30 in the
have an
morning.
hour away to go to Bullis. So you have to get on the bus, drive an hour away, then you will go to school, then you will have practice,
Right.
finish
Practice.
practice,
5 in
then
the
you're back
morning.
at home by
Go
eight
to school
o'clock.
and
So we talking
practice.
about 5:30 to
And
8
be
o'clock. You
back
guys was
at
doing a
home
full
at
day.
8 p.m.
And I'll
That's
never
what he's
forget one of the
saying.
things that impressed me was I used to sometimes
Press.
walk past your rooms and at
Mm-hmm.
maybe 12 o'clock midnight, you guys were up studying, doing your work. So that's inner strength. That's what you
Inner
told
strength.
yourself that you can
Yes.
do. So nobody could tell you to do
Inner
it.
strength.
You can
That's
want
kind
you
of
to
like
do it,
knowledge
but you
itself as an
actually
inner strength, as me and
it's both of
melanin
you instill that
beings.
in yourself of being passionate and how to good study habits and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And that's what has
Passionate
taken you
study
thus
habits.
far
Yeah.
of having good study habits and learning how to study and learning how to,
Hmm.
just
Oh
push
yeah,
yourself. That's important.
Thank you.
important.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard, right? High school.
Yeah, it was
High school was, because we are from Prince George's County and Bullis is in Potomac. So, like you said, an hour. Um, it was no joke, but
every day.
it definitely instilled that discipline and that understanding
Discipline,
that
yes.
if you want it,
Yeah,
now's the time,
yeah,
to show it.
yeah.
And I think
Good study
definitely,
habits.
yeah,
All of that
hard
comes into
work,
play.
work ethic for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And both of our parents have it. I
yeah,
think it was a no brainer, right? Like
yeah.
in life, I feel like as a family, we've just
Right,
always been extremely resilient
right.
and strong, and I
And for
think
the
that's
kids who don't have it, like maybe strong parents,
Dang,
try to,
if he was still
look into
living,
somebody that you
I would
look
have had
up
a good
to,
conversation with
whom,
Larry the
whatever it
Third,
may be.
and he would
That
give me
person is
good
going to instill that
advice.
in you also because it's in
If
everybody.
I
You just got to
would
find
have
it.
met
And
him
we
in
all have a
person,
role in this life we
he
live
would
in.
motivate
It's
me.
just your job to figure out your niche and your
I mean,
role
even though I'm
and be
into wrestling
successful
so much,
and be the right
but
person
he
at the
will
right time.
motivate me as a so-called black
back to
man.
basketball. If you could relive one basketball moment, whether it be from Syracuse or a professional career, which one would it be?
If I could relive, okay, I'm going to high school, city title,
Wow,
city
high school
title
city
game.
title,
I don't
yes.
know if you guys ever noticed. Well, we played Dunbar at
He played
Cofield House,
against
which is Maryland
Dunbar.
University's arena,
Oh
and we played for
yeah,
the city
the
title,
the Figma
and we were
House.
up two
Yeah, that be
points,
some other
82 to
time.
80. Now, this is the
So
first year
they
in high
were up
school
to
where three
two
pointers
points
are allowed.
82.
And to make a long story
Three
short, our guy named
pointers are
Donald
allowed to
Ford
make a
was
long
on
story
D4.
at Donald Ford.
D4 hit a half court
Division
shot,
4
and
and
we
hit a
won
half court shot.
83 82. So he
Whoa.
took my city title from me and made
Wow,
some
so he took
nice
the
words
city
to
title
me.
from him.
But, it's funny because I still talk to some of those guys now. Romeo Roach,
Romeo
he was
Rose.
on that team.
So he's
And I
friends with
always
Romeo
joke with those
Roach.
guys when I would see them. I was like, I wonder will we still be friends if you missed that shot? So we
Would they
so
be as
yeah,
kind
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, well,
forgiving?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so we always laugh about it. They'd be like, "Well, Mo, we'll never know,"
Yeah.
So we laugh it off. But yeah, losing
Oh, they
that
laugh
city
it off.
title game
Okay.
and going home, and we had George
Marvelous.
Michael Sports Machine, which was may he rest in peace. He was a great sports anchor here in the DMV, one of the best in the
Wow. So
world.
he was a sports in
And he
the
used to have the
DMV,
sports
George
machine every
Michael.
Sunday night.
I
So they
already know what
showed
that's
that,
about.
and I'll never forget Donald Ford. Everybody
Donald
jumping on,
Ford.
and he's looking at the camera, and he say, "Hey, you know what, George? I'm going to Disney World." And I just remember
Disney World.
falling
I've
on
been
my
to
bed like,
Disney World that one
"Oh."
time when I was 8 years old.
So
Man, okay,
that
so
was
this is a
good.
moment that you want to relive so that you can rue the day, huh? So you could go back and what, drop
Nah,
30 instead of
well, I had 29. Should have had 31.
okay, there we go.
So it
So
is
this
what it
is so
is.
you could have just one
Well,
more
you asked the moment that I can
that
remember.
you would want
So
to relive.
Moment to
Is there
moment
a
to remember.
happier moment that you would mind sharing with us? Or no, you
oh well, many happy moments.
anything
Many.
where it's like, oh, the feeling of that
Uh,
was just so great. I guess
So
the
yes,
great.
draft, right?
the draft. We talked about
Yeah.
it. Always beating Georgetown
Oh yeah.
was a big thing. For bragging rights when I came back home to DC. I was able to talk
Mm-hmm.
trash. My record's 4-2 against Georgetown in my career. So yeah, little things, but
See,
for the most part, man, I had some great
understandable.
times.
So he was being
Um,
Georgetown University.
Playing on all levels, met some good people, and that's the thing that I could say too. That no matter what field,
Well,
if
no
you
matter
play the
what.
sport of basketball,
Great.
it's like an alumni.
Mhm.
You're always gonna be
That's
connected,
why
and
it's
you're
like
gonna
a
still
number.
connected to
That's
your
what he's saying.
alumni.
You definitely are. I mean, every time we go out, you're either being stopped by somebody who recognizes you, or you see somebody that you recognize who you played with. And I think that's so amazing, especially like at this time in like all of our lives, like
Yeah,
being able to see that. And now that the field that I work in, I get to commentate even alongside people that either watched you play or played with you. right? Which is
Yeah.
so
Watch
awesome.
you play
It
with
is.
you.
So
It
I've been
Wow.
is.
loving that.
Damn, that phone
And
And
I've
I'm
been
just so
loving it too,
blessed.
Lala. I've been loving it too. Actually, to see you out there doing great things, calling the
Yeah,
game the right way.
he
And
likes
I can just
Lala
remember,
doing
like,
great
at
things.
one
His
time when
daughter,
teaching you how to read stats
Yeah.
and learn the
she
game,
was teaching her how
understanding
to
the
read
questions
stats
that
and learn the game.
different people are going to ask, the
That's
questions
that's
that you can ask
that's the
players,
best so-called
former
black
player.
father right there.
Makes the game easy. And you played the game. So that's what I wanted you to always remember too when you're calling the
Man,
game.
I
Understand
think
that you played the
Lala
game, so
is
you
a
know the little
daddy's girl.
nuances about certain
Because
things
I
that
think
are
I
going to
had some
happen.
tall
And
queens that
I'm
used to
so
say they
happy
were
for you.
daddy's
You're doing a great
girls.
job.
Thank you. I don't need Chat GPT because I have my dad. You know, everybody uses artificial intelligence. I have my
Yeah,
husband
artificial
who's a
intelligence.
student of the game. I mean,
Yeah,
at any
I gotta
time,
be aware
you
of
know,
that.
we'll
Some of them
film,
can be
I'll send him
good.
pictures of the
Some of them
team
can.
stats.
Most of it
Tell me
can be
what you think of
bad.
this. I'll compare it
The
with my
good part
notes.
about artificial
It's
intelligence
just
with
helped me
um
excel far
the
beyond anything I could have
images,
expected at this point in my
especially the
career.
comic
And I definitely
images,
owe a huge
they be off
bit
the
of that
chain.
to you
Yeah.
because of everything you've been able to help me with.
Well, and remember what I told you, it's not just sports.
True.
You are natural when it comes to reporting and
Yeah.
telling it like it
Natural.
is,
Yeah, he's telling it like it is. That's
news.
what's up. That's
I told
great.
you, I envision, well, I'm going to tell y'all this, and this is what I think. I actually envision my daughter on Good Morning
Envision
America.
your daughter.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but you heard it here first.
Okay. I'll be
Wow, heard it
with Robin
first.
Roberts, alongside of Robin Roberts. I love
Robin
Robin
If
Roberts.
Roberts.
she's
Oh
if
yeah,
she's there,
the
she's
Yeah,
there.
photographer.
If
yeah.
she's not, she's not.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be that just gave me chills. That would be awesome. My last question. As you know, the name of this podcast is Beyond Ballin'. To you, what does that mean?
Beyond Bowling. Would I
Beyond
watch
balling
that
is
show
understanding
often?
that
I am not
the
sure because
ball
so much
has to
stuff
stop
keeps getting in the way.
sometime, and you have to have something to fall back on.
Yeah, you
And
have to
like I
have something
said,
to
I
fall
was a
back.
professional
You are
basketball player for
absolutely
11
correct.
years, 3 in the NBA, 8 overseas. I've been blessed to travel all over this world,
NBA, he not only
and it
played in
stopped, and
the
it
NBA,
ended
he also
because you
played
have to have something to fall back
overseas.
on. I got my
He ain't
degree in
the only
child
ball
education.
player.
I'm doing great things for the youth in Syracuse and in this area in the DMV where I'm
Syracuse,
from.
DMV.
And that's what it's about. It's about growing, and I'm continuing to grow.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
And I'm
continue
so
to
proud
grow.
of you.
Yes.
Reading the articles last night was making me emotional because of the amount of work that you put in, you know? Like I see you as my dad, and now I think last night I had an aha moment as to why people see you and get so emotional. Like he's gonna cry. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
amazing because you are a walking example of hard work and what goes in
Wow.
it.
He is example of
Thank
hard
you.
work.
You're welcome, baby. And all I can tell
Dang,
you
I
is to
can
keep doing
feel it
great
in my
things that you're
sense.
doing. You and your sister,
Mike
I'm
Eason.
blessed to call. I'm blessed to be your father, and
Yeah, he
you
was
have
a
a lot of more great things
blessed,
to do.
so-called,
You do.
strong,
Yep.
All right, you
educated black
guys.
man when it
My
comes to his
dears,
daughters.
this was an amazing episode. Thank you so much,
Wow.
Dad, for
You're
taking
welcome.
time with
La la
us.
la la. Mm-mm-mm.
And stay tuned for the next one, okay? Bye.
Damn. God, I can't help myself. So that's about
Back
it.
to basketball. If you could relive,
That's it. I'm about to take my leave. The next stream is gonna be a question mark. I probably gonna watch this too when I get home. If anything don't come in the way, I definitely say that off air. So yeah, I'm about to play my outro. Um, Powers to the people, has that for the culture. Wakanda forever.
Oh great, a request for a new video. Now to rely on 1,000 people to get it done. Or you can just use Riverside and do it.